Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. It seems like it's Vladimir Putin's turn to go in the Middle East and um, see how the gauge is for alliances. But nevertheless, this has been scheduled for some time. So Putin, will be in Tehran, Iran, where he's going to meet the Ayatollah and Mr. Erdogan, the president of Turkey. So I have an article from Reuters saying that Putin visits Iran on first trip outside former Soviet Union since Ukraine war. All right, let's see. Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit, it's already there, on Tuesday, which is today, for talks with Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. The Kremlin leader's first trip outside the former Soviet Union since Moscow's February 24th invasion of Ukraine. I wonder what these guys want there. And then what the mass media will tell they really want is going to be a different story. In Tehran, Putin will also hold his first face-to-face meeting since the invasion with a NATO leader, Turkey's Erdogan, to discuss a deal aimed at allowing the resumption of Ukraine's Black Sea grain exports, as well as peace in Syria. If you know, in Syria, Turkey has a little problem, to say the least, with the Kurdish population in north of Syria and in south of Turkey. So that's a Kurdish area, and Erdogan's claimed that threatened to invade over there and take care of business, but then the United States said, hey, take it easy, wait a little bit. Those are our guys. So Putin's trip, which comes just days after U.S. President Joe Biden visited Israel and Saudi Arabia, sends a strong message to the West about Moscow's plans to forge closer strategic ties with Iran, China, and India in the face of Western sanctions. Yes, the new club. And I'm quoting, the contact with Khamenei is very important, Yuri Ushanov, Putin's foreign policy advisor, told reporters in Moscow, and I'm quoting again, a trusting dialogue has developed between them on the most important issues on the bilateral and international agenda. On most issues, our positions are close or identical. Now, they're both sanctions, remember? For Iran, also chafing under Western sanctions, economic sanctions, and at loggerheads with the United States over Tehran nuclear program and a range of other issues, Putin's visit is timely. So probably they're going to discuss, okay, you're going to do this, you're not going to do this, see what's going to happen. Its clerical leaders are keen to strengthen strategic relations with Russia in the face of an emerging U.S.-backed Gulf Arab-Israeli bloc. It's no emerging. Did you watch the news? There's no emerging. It's that kind of idea that the United States tells these guys over there in the Middle East, if you don't want me, I want you. That's the deal. Israel said, okay, we're with you because we need you, but we need to do something to Iran because this seemed not to work, so we have to project our military might, thinking that they will make Iran do something, but they say, okay, but Iran now has Putin over there, so if it has China's and Putin's support, this would not work, but you have Israel, so Israel can do basically whatever it wants and without repercussions. UN or NATO or anybody will, you know how it is. They put their white gloves and they massage Israel. That's the Jewish state. I apologize. I gotta score some points for YouTube. Nevertheless, we have here. So Biden, in his visit, he didn't succeed to do anything. I was about to say Khashoggi. Mohammed bin Salman did not agree. He said, yeah, I agreed to maybe try to increase the output of oil, but then he says we can't do that. We don't have the technical possibility, so bye-bye. Then he says, well, maybe you're going to do this so we can lower the price of oil on the market. Bin Salman said, no. About the relationship, I don't know what's the relationship because Salman plays with the Russians, with the Chinese, with the Indians, with the Pakistanis, with Erdogan, with Europe, with the United States, plays with everybody, and that's the way an independent country should behave. Regarding anybody else in the Middle East, who do you have? Iraq? I don't know, talk about Iraq, right? Anyway, you want to talk about Syria? No Syria. Lebanon? So these are, countries that will not form anything. Egypt? Yeah, maybe here and there, but Egypt is already in Africa, so, but it's in the area. And it says here, considering the evolving geopolitical ties after the Ukraine war, Tehran tries to secure Moscow support in its confrontation with Washington and its regional allies, and Israel. Why don't you say that? And not confrontation with Washington, confrontation with Israel and its bully boy, United States of America. Why don't we say it? That's why it is. Said the senior Iranian official who asked not to be named. Don't mention my name. Emboldened by high oil prices since the Ukraine war, Iran is betting that with Russia's support it could presume pressure Washington to offer concessions for the revival of the 2015 nuclear deal. However, Russia's increased tilt towards Beijing in recent months has significantly reduced Iran crude exports to China, a key source of income for Tehran since U.S. President Donald Trump reimposed sanctions in 2018. No problem, they will be part of BRICS. They already applied for membership, so the club is right there. In May, Reuters reported that Iran's crude exports to China have fallen sharply, as Beijing favored heavily discounted Russian barrels, leaving almost 40 million barrels of Iranian oil stored on tankers at sea in Asia and seeking buyers. Ahead of Putin's arrival, the national Iranian oil company and Russia gas producer Gazprom signed a memorandum of understanding worth around $40 billion. And then you have high on the agenda is Tuesday's trilateral talks that will also include Turkey, with the efforts to reduce violence in Syria, where Erdogan has threatened to launch more military operations to extend 30 kilometers, 20-mile deep safe zones along the border. Moscow and Tehran both oppose any such action by Turkey. Maintaining the territorial integrity of Syria is very important. Well, kick the Americans out. They're over there without any permission. And any military attack in northern Syria will definitely harm Turkey, Syria, and entire region, and benefit terrorists, Khamenei told Erdogan. Any Turkish operation in Syria would attack the Kurdish YPG militia, a key part of the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces that controls large part of northern Syria and is regarded by Washington as an important ally against the Islamic State. It's not about the Islamic State. It's about Syria having a foothold in the area and the oil of Syria in the eastern part of Syria. That's where the oil is, isn't it? A senior Turkish official said Turkey planned operation would be discussed in Tehran, as would reports that Russia and Kurds were acting together in the same area of Syria and the United States. Russia and Iran are Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's strongest backers, while Turkey supports anti-Assad insurgents. Putin, who turned 70 this year, has made few foreign trips in the recent years due to the COVID pandemic, blah, blah, blah. His bilateral talks with Erdogan will focus on a plan to get Ukrainian grain exports moving again. So these are the plans. Oil, according to these guys, oil with Iran and resources and connection, and maybe the nuclear deal that they will probably say, I do this, not do this, we're going to back you with this, we're not going to back you on that one. Then with Turkey, obviously, is the Syrian issue and the grain. Well, Putin is over there. As I mentioned before, many times when leaders left their own country to go overseas and meet other people, they either couldn't come back, or when they came back and they were, taken into custody. So I hope Putin doesn't have the same fate as others. No, thank you very much for being. I'm going to let you know when these guys are saying something about, they talked about this, they started a fight, they went and they had some, I don't know. I was about to say wine, but I know Khamenei cannot have it. I don't know about Erdogan. And Putin doesn't drink either. So you want to drink tea, a Chinese tea, or Japanese, you want to engage in a Shan no Yu ceremony or tea ceremony. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.